the member of parliament for Ifut, who is the minority leader, the person who has made the allegations, stands by his words in full. Well, he has gone on to sue. Alhaji, thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for speaking to us.
Senator, thank you for having me.
Well, first, I guess you agree with me when I say the allegations are serious.
Well, they're not always serious. They go to the if you want the government and the reason that for our constitutional democracy. Its seriousness is if you want, supported by the fact that it relates to a democratic experiment. That's how serious it is. It is not just talk. If it is made out, it undermines our democracy. The conversation now borders on an attempt to undermine our democracy. That's why it's very serious.
You're saying the allegations border on an attempt to undermine our democracy?
Yes.
How?
Why do we vote people into parliament? Why do we give people the mandate to represent us in parliament? One, to make laws for us. Two, to be keepers of the public purse. Three, to hold public officers accountable. That's why we vote them into parliament. That's why we give them that mandate. And if an allegation of a member of parliament and a leader of the parliamentary setting has attempted to subordinate the public interest to his private interest, it is very, very serious. Two, if the allegation is made out, it means that member has traded the mandate that we have given him for personal gain, or an attempt to trade that mandate to commodify the authority given to him to represent us and hold public officers accountable and keep the public purse. For personal benefit, and that is very serious. It's very, very serious. You cannot commodify that authority. It's an authority given for the purpose of public service, not private gain. That's the essence. So that's why it is very serious.
So you're saying what is being alleged is contrary to the conduct you expect of somebody in his position?
It's not only contrary, it undermines democratic values.
Okay.
That's how you should look at it. If he were a private person, that is a different matter. But if he is in public service, as members of parliament are public servants, it undermines the public trust. Just like a policeman who extorts money from a civilian, that undermines the public trust in the police service. Or a headmaster who extorts money from parents by virtue of his position undermines the public trust. If this example I've given are at a lower level, a member of parliament, which is a position occupied by a privileged few, out of our population of over 30 million, 276 members are representing us. We've given our mandate to hold public officers accountable, to keep the public purse to only 276 members. So they are privileged few. And if such a privileged member of society attempts to trade, to commodify that public trust, then that will be very serious, and it undermines that the basic trust that has been given to him.
What then is that? Because he says, standing on his feet, that he's ready to respond to any allegation, any investigation initiated by the man who is making the allegation. That if he goes to the police today and reports that he attempted to extort him, he will respond to it. So does that not place an obligation also on Sammy Gyamfi, who is making the allegation too?
So we must all be at them meeting of minds. We must all agree that this conversation we are having and the allegation is so serious that Sammy Gyamfi would not have made it lightly, because he's also a lawyer.
Okay.
So it's so serious. And Sammy Gyamfi must be standing on firm grounds to make that allegation, because it's a serious allegation.
And it's something he's repeated on Newsfile. In fact, that's the subject of the suit that Alexander Afenyo Markin has filed. But I wonder for you, what are the steps that should be taken on this issue? Because you're saying it's an affront to our democracy. What steps do you expect to be taken from the side of the person who's alleging, the person who the allegation is against, the institutions that are supposed to investigate matters of this nature?
Steps have already been taken, and they are all appropriate, and they are not mutually exclusive. So, a petition has been sent by two people, Apia Dankwa and Solomon Ogusu, to the OSP to investigate this matter. OSP has issued a statement acknowledging receipt of that petition, saying that, well, it has to satisfy itself that the complaint sent to them by these two persons fall within their mandate. So that's what they are doing. It has also been sent to the police. Extortion is a crime. And so the police have the mandate and authority to investigate a crime. Might also go to Yoko, because it could be an organized crime. It's an economic crime, and it can be organized. It's also Parliament, because the member is a member of Parliament. And if he indeed and in fact did that, that will lower, his conduct will lower Parliament in the estimation of right-thinking men. So it could be a subject matter of the Privileges Committee that can lead to his expulsion from Parliament. And then he himself knows that it's so serious. So he's taking, that's why he said he's taking the moral high ground to try to clear his name. So he's gone to court. Sammy Gyamfi will have to respond. But let me hasten to add that Sammy Gyamfi also has a counterclaim against him, because he called him a thief. He called him a criminal. It's defamatory. And it's actionable per se. So we're just seeing the beginning of a long journey towards the vindication of the rights of persons through defamation suits. This is not the end. It's just the beginning.
He called Sammy a thief?
Oh, his first press conference, that resulted in the Accountant to the People press conference. They have said that Sammy Gyamfi will not, if there's a change in government, Sammy Gyamfi will not be able to produce enough surety to secure a temporary release from the criminal offense of causing financial loss to the state to the tune of 22 billion Ghana cedis. You didn't hear that?
Okay. You think
You
that's
didn't
an
hear that?
allegation that he's stolen the money?
That's an allegation that he's a criminal.
Oh.
That's an allegation that he's a criminal. Yes.
And for that, do you think Sammy can sue?
That's also defamatory.
Okay. I see. Interesting. So we could
So
see a
that's why I
situation
say
where he
from
has
the
sued, Sammy
beginning.
will sue. So we could see a situation where you say Sammy could also make a counterclaim against him.
Yes, yes. The countersuit. In different information. Because no one has the right to call another person a criminal unless such a person has been found guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction after the case has gone through trial and an opportunity has been offered that person to defend himself. That's what the Constitution says. That's why there is the constitutional presumption of innocence. And it's part of the provisions of the fundamental rights and freedoms of persons, chapter 5 of the Constitution. So we are just in the beginning.
I see. Well, do you think the defamation suit in itself will in any way affect any investigation?
No. So defamation suits are a vindication of the rights of persons. They are private, they are personal. What is the complaint is that it's lowered him in the estimation of right-thinking persons. It's injured his reputation. It's harmed him. The investigations are on democratic institutions. So a member of parliament is part of the democratic institutions of state. A CEO of GoldBod is part of the institutions of state. The CEO works with public resources and he is by his act accountable to the people. The member of parliament, as a democratic institution, has the power, authority of the people to demand accountability. Cannot subordinate his personal, the public interest to his personal interest. That would be wrong, that would be illegal, that would be undemocratic. And that would be a serious offense if a member of parliament does that. If a member of parliament says, well, I've seen that you've committed an offense, or there's a likelihood of an offense being committed. But if you are able to give me X amount of money, I will hash the investigation. That's a dereliction of duty. So that's what the investigations were established. Well, there was a dereliction of duty on the part of an institution of state set up for the purposes of holding public officers accountable and keeping the peace. Was there a collusion to steal from the pest? Was there an attempt to steal from the pest? So these are two different things. I hope I'm making myself clear.
Yes. At what point should Parliament set in? Is it after the investigations are done and whatever the facts established, if they are found to be true?
I've already told you that they are not mutually exclusive.
Okay.
They're not mutually exclusive.
Okay. So Parliament
Can
can
a
be doing
member
its
of parliament
investigation.
do what Afenyo Markin is alleged to have done? Can he? If a member of parliament is found to have done that, that member of parliament can be excluded from parliament. But parliament has no power to put him in jail. Okay? So that sentence, if it is established in parliament, the highest form of punishment in parliament will be to exclude him from parliament. That's how a member of parliament can lose his seat. But that would not send that person to jail. If it is established that the comment made by Sammy Gyamfi is true, that's justification. That defeats the defamatory action in court. That defeats the defamatory action. So, in court, if it is found that there is no basis for that statement, Afenyo Markin will be entitled to damages and special damages or exemplary damages. That's the relief. It won't send Sammy Gyamfi to jail. If the police or serious fraud office or the office of the special prosecutor finds that there's prima facie evidence that there was an attempt to extort, there will be a subject matter of criminal prosecution. And the end result, if convicted, will be a jail sentence. So you see that the outcomes are different. So that's why they can run together at the same time.
Okay. And having said that, on another leg, but also related to this, connected to this, is the issue of the motion that has been filed by the minority in Parliament for another committee to be set up to look into this matter of GoldBod losses or no losses. And then the Speaker said he is minded to, or intends to, accept the motion or adopt the motion for that ad hoc committee to be set up, because he doesn't want Parliament to be seen as engaged in a cover-up, and says there must be an end to litigation. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, litigation has been used loosely. It's not a litigation. It's just that the Speaker's attempt to bring certainty to this matter, this conversation, and provide a level of, if you want, finality, even though I doubt whether it will bring finality to the issue. But it will bring some level of certainty and decency into the conversation, and not the distortions that we are hearing now. So that's what he's trying to do. Is it a loss or a cost? Is the loss justified or is the cost reasonable? Who occasioned the loss or the cost? Can anything to be done to improve on the operations of the institution that occasioned the loss? And so these are questions that clearly will be answered by an ad hoc committee.
And I heard you on some other platforms, and it seems you have the opinion that these questions have all been answered already in the public platform.
Yeah, but that is the public platform. This one will be the parliamentary platform, not so.
Yes.
So yes, that's an answer to some extent. And because that was answered, and we tried to bring some level of understanding of the issue. And you see, I always say that the national anthem of the country to guide all of us in this conversation, because it invites us to cherish fearless honesty. That's what the national anthem invites us to do. So on a different platform, I try to explain that it would be totally wrong to transposition a loss or a cost of one legal entity onto another legal entity. And I'm happy that that has also found expression in the latest statement of the minority leader, where he has shifted from blaming entirely the GoldBod to now blaming the Bank of Ghana and saying that the GoldBod contributed to it. So that's a remarkable move away from his earlier position. Because you can't be a member of parliament who passed a law and made it mandatory for the GoldBod at the end of every year to report its operations to Parliament, and also mandate the Auditor General to audit the books of GoldBod and report to Parliament. Such a report, the reports by the CEO through the Minister of Finance, and the report of the Auditor General will constitute material for debate or discussions or deliberations in the House of Parliament, and then turn around without this report to be writing your own report. So I thought that it was strange, it was improper, and that the Member of Parliament's attention to be drawn to the legal regime under which GoldBod operates and under which Bank of Ghana operates. These are two distinct and separate legal entities. And I'm happy he took the advice.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking to us this morning.
You're welcome.
Always wonderful speaking to you. Alhaji Inusa Fuseini is former member of Parliament for Tamale Central. Join us on the line. He's a former minister in two capacities at least, one as deputy minister and another one as deputy minister. So 2 capacities as minister, 1 as deputy minister. And of course, he served on committees in Parliament, both as member and also as ranking member in some cases. 20 minutes past 8 here in the studios of Radio Gold 90.5 FM.